Hello, I'm Chylli from channel Chylli, also known as Chai, and we are back with more Limbus company, and we are continuing with even more spring cultivation. So back we go to the 30 days of classes. Woo! My lady seems to be in a particular mood today. It's all useless, isn't it? When these classes end and you guys all leave, I guess I'll be spending my days worried to death that an assassin could pop up out of nowhere and kill me at any moment. Consumed by so much paranoia and worry that I'll start twitching as shadows cast from lamplights. So would it mean anything for me to, prove to them that I deserve to be the family hierarch? I spent my whole life trying to prove to everyone that I have the will and determination to become the family hierarch, and now I have to prove to everyone that I deserve to keep it? And those bastards whose only thought in their empty heads is how they can expand their room? Mr. Wei, have you ever heard of playing hooky before? Playing hooky is a euphemism for eliminating your enemies. Well, I've rarely done it back when I was in school, but when there's too much going on in your head, you just skip school and go out to play. I've only done it once myself after a friend talked me into it. I agree, it seems that the time for my lady to clear her head has come. Very well, let us play just one hooky. What are you guys doing? Come on, let's get moving. I gotta prove myself, don't I? I gotta have these bastards' approval, don't I? She's in a really bad mood today. My lady, have you visited the backyard of the Lucia Hermitage as of late? No, but I know what happened there. They threw a few dead bodies in the massacre a decade ago, turned the pond foul, and decided to bury the whole thing. Indeed they did. The stench was so overwhelming and toxic that corpses of animals and plants could be seen floating on its surface, eventually turning the pond into a festering black bog. People passing by had to plug their noses or risk passing out. So why bring up something awful like that? It seems that a tree has taken root there, my lady, amidst all that rot. A willow tree reached deep into the pond with its roots, clearing it of the foul grease, cleansing the water. And one day we found it clear and glittering, thriving with other aquatic plants growing within. It's recovered from the rot, becoming a normal clear pond surrounded by leaves and moss. Some months ago, they introduced a few carps into there, and when they checked again, they were just as vivacious as if they were on the first day there. Would you like to pay the pond a visit, if that's alright with you? Xichun didn't seem to quite buy his explanation, but she followed him anyway. You weren't kidding, I avoided this place for so long, I never thought it could be this clean again. I can hardly believe that this pond used to be a rotten bog. All that happened was that this tree happened to take root here. What matters, my lady, is patience and determination. Of course, this place had slipped my mind then, as it was quite swamped with work, but the world has a stronger capacity to heal itself than one might imagine. Recovery will follow as long as there's a steady root to rally around. After a long break, they seem to freshen even our hearts. Nice, you're making good progress. Your form, the light in your eyes, I think you've certainly improved in all aspects. I dare say you've had some change of heart, too. Yeah, I do feel a tad more comfortable than I did before. Right, class, use a new task to help you learn how to break your enemy's morale. The moment you shrink in front of your enemies, you've already lost, so don't. It don't matter how many there are or how threatening they look, yeah? Take me, for example. Have I ever turned and pale and fled like some milksop, no matter what enemy we were put against? I don't think you ever have. Leave it to the nurse to waste time coming up with strategies and what have you. Listen, there ain't a problem in the world you can't solve by boldly rushing in head first. Ishmael and Otis would have boldly rushed in head first to shake him to his lapels if they'd been here. Here's what I think. Neither of you got enough pluck. That's when neither of you could say shite about those buggers back at the assembly hall, am I right? Xichun maintained her silence, seal a scar on her pride, growing sore again. So let me help you grow some backbone. Try getting mad at me. No need to shrink back, lad. Stand proud. Well, okay, but how could I... Don't worry about offending me, yeah, I can take it. Unlike you two, I build up a thick skin for all kinds of insults thanks to my years in the backstreets. I'm bloody invincible. Yeah, well, shut up, Heathcliff. Good lad. You're hardly even a teacher, man. This class sucks. All you're doing up there is standing around and trying to look cool. Oh, that one's gonna sting a little. That's it, you little shite. Is what I would have said back in the day, and I probably would have struck you with this hammer, my club. But I've changed too, and so did you. I can see that fire in your eyes has grown. Remember that feeling, yeah? I will. Now let's practice. It looks like the both of you have a perfect sparring partner in each other. Grab your weapons, the both of you. You mean us, me and Xichun? I grew my backbone by getting in a fisticuffs with the boys back in my backstreet days. They'd break my arm, I'd break their legs in return, see what I mean? Is that what besties is supposed to mean? Xichun asked with considerable confusion. Well, let's do this, I guess. You don't want me to go easy on you, do you? I don't.
최고의 방책은 전쟁이 일어나지 않게 하는 것. 이게 그거지? 책박! 중요한 건 내가 어떤 사람인지 알게 하는 것. 더 이상 두렵지 않아. 그 해결사의 역경에 비하면 알고 있는 걸 전부 말해. 꽃처럼 화려한 바람처럼 가볍지만 벌처럼 날카롭게. 꽃처럼 화려한 바람처럼 가볍지만 벌처럼 날카롭게. 지도자라면 동료를 포기하지 않아.
Yeah, Sinclair just got absolutely destroyed. That wasn't even close. Alright, that's good enough. Bloody hell, lad, that was much closer than I thought. Good match. Geez, don't most people usually lose steam the longer a fight gets? What the heck was that at the end? The two of them clashed with everything they learned, and with all they learned up until the lessons began. I thought for sure that Xichun would come out on top without breaking a sweat, given that Sinclair wasn't using an identity and the tough training Xichun had as a Hierarch candidate, but perhaps thanks to the Night Drifter's teachings, or thanks to that mark on his forehead, I saw a glimpse of Sinclair I'd only seen in a select few mirror worlds. You alright, Sinclair? Yeah, it's not like we were going at it with real weapons, so the fight ended before it got any further, thankfully, so I'm not hurt or anything. I'm feeling a bit of fever on my forehead, though. It didn't seem like Sinclair noticed the single yet clear red line that appeared on his forehead. It's not like anything bad happened when that mark manifested back in Lamancha land, but considering that Demian and Rem were the only other people who'd ever shown that mark, I couldn't help but worry a little. Hey, you ever run away from home before? Where's this coming from? Going by the way you're acting, it's clear to me that you're a homebody, but there's something behind your eyes that tells me that your life hasn't all been sunshine and rainbows. I wouldn't call it running away from home, but more like I left home because I didn't have a choice. How did that feel? Like I was melting away into nothing. I suddenly had to face the whole terrible world all on my own, and that was so overwhelming that... Well, I'm sure you can't quite commiserate. You've been at the top of your game your whole life, after all. I did leave doggone you on my own volition, but if I'm being honest, and there's something I never told Wei, I felt utterly lost. Unutterably lost. There was so much that I had to do, so much responsibility. I guess neither of us were ready for the world when we left home. I feel just as lost back home, though. And there's Heathcliff, too. He left home some time ago. We paid a visit to the manor he grew up in. Heading home must have been pretty exciting for him. You have no idea how much of the journey back he's been gussying up and primping his hair. Something just came up. Class dismissed. So, are you going to teach us any techniques? It's only been a few days since your training began, yet my other martial arts masters would teach me their secret technique. So that's what's got you two pounding all lesson. Now, that's some good wine. Very well, I'm in the mood. Let me teach you a useful trick. Tell me, what did I teach you to do as you swung your sticks? Forget all those things that put pressure on me and face nothing but myself and my movements. And that's only the start of it. First, emptiness of the sound, the slight friction between the tips of your toes, the ruffle of your clothes, your breaths. Erase them all. Erase every ripple and echo you leave upon this world. The Night Drifter stands before us, but his presence becomes as hazy as mist. Despite the wild movements, we hear nothing. Second, emptiness of form. To have a form is to ride your foes with cleaves to predict your next move. Forget the weapons in your hands, forget your structured forms. Break the mold to become the flow, let only your will remain. Randomness seeps into his movements until all semblance of pattern becomes lost. There's something clownish about his unpredictable movements, but they were also so hypnotic and floaty that Xichun and Sinclair couldn't look away. Last, emptiness of mind. Try not to force the direction of your heart. Empty your desires and intentions both. Stab without thinking, penetrate without gazing. With Xichun and Sinclair's necks were marked by small imprints of the twig that pressed their skin, and Chylli, who had been standing next to me all along, had leaped a small distance away, seemingly distant in thought. And my neck hurts too. Guess that wasn't straight from the lesson. I wonder if this fits the saying you song utterers from time to time. To leave one's nose with eyes open. Immerse yourselves. Make sure your descent is slow and gradual. We've been focusing entirely on the self with your swings thus far. You should find it quite easy to reach the state of emptiness of mind. Didn't I just say that the one must take it easy and gradually? To empty your mind already. I'd have taught you my everything just you entered under my tutelage long ago. Am I doing this right? No, wait, I need to relax more. So our new Hierarch has found herself the clue to the emptiness of form. What technique is that? It's all just movement at the end of the day. I find it entirely unnecessary to give them flashy names. I see a truly secret technique should come without one. Well, it's just supposed to be our ultimate move, right? Wouldn't it be more official to give it a name? Well, in that case... that's some good wine indeed. I guess I'll go with something like plastered sleep, unrestrained ripples. The name sucks. The class comes to an end with an ultimate move that was probably named in haste. Chylli, who'd been observing the class from a distance, approaches the Night Drifter. Been a while since I saw someone give a lesson like this, standing from its very fundamentals. Hardly can one find a pupil willing to learn. Slowly learn from the very fundamentals in a world of infinite technological advancements like the Veil. I am only fortunate enough to have found two pupils who are indeed willing. Your gay, your tone, were you among the 10 blades of the East? Now, it seems entirely unnecessary for you to dig, so as I don't quite recall putting anything on your tab. But your futile questions for best, for I have no answers to give. The past is like smoke, I've long emptied any history worth delving into. Well, I'm supposed to teach this class, but honestly, I'm not sure what to do here. It's not like I can suddenly teach you guys to hear the fathoms of other people's hearts. Yeah, it's not like we can suddenly have a heart-to-heart out of nowhere, right? And that is precisely why I've installed this box called Messages from the Hearts by the door, here when the lesson first began. Messages from the Hearts? The greatest strength of Messages from the Hearts is its anonymity. Here, people can anonymously share the concerns I've been eating away at them without the fear of judgment. Yeah, this seems like a great idea. I can see how everyone can be more honest about their feelings behind the mask of anonymity. The lapse is quite heavy. It seems like everyone's been making quite the liberal use of this. Let's see, the one at the bottom has to be the first message. Let's see what it says. Boy, I've got to ask, do those consultations even do anything? Does this mask of anonymity even do anything? Also, what's the point of these messages anyway? If you have to whinge at their faces. Well, I ain't got much else to say, so I've got one. My neighbor next door keeps making weird noises at night, so do something about that, yeah? Something about his smoking head over and over again. The point is, it's been getting on my nerves. If that doesn't get taken care of in a week, I'll deal with it in my own way. Deal with it how? It's all just personal grievances. Let's see what the next one says. Who dares harrow the executive manager with such useless leak-minded complaints? If you're going to continue wasting the executive manager's precious time and cause them trouble, I will personally hold you responsible for that blunder. You best prepare yourself for consequences. Wow, it's like she's right here speaking right into my ear. Never thought written words could cause hearing damage. Moving on, I don't know if it's just me, but someone's probably been spying on these papers. I've got proof too. I folded this piece of paper up into a padlock knot shape, but whoever spied on it did a pretty bad job of replacing it. Oh, and another thing, my compass disappeared. It's a compass I got for surviving the hellish depths of the Balmort trenches. We're going to have to re-establish some house rules soon. A theft report? Did one of you steal her compass or something? Nah, no way. We never steal from each other no matter how hard things get. Something troubles me. Finally, someone submitted a real concern here. Was it the Type A wire that caused the explosion, or was it caused by replacing the clamp part from the shattering gear? The likely answer has been found, and do not concern yourselves with this message. Well, that's that, I guess. Look, I feel like I really have to share this with everyone. This one might be serious for once. I can't just let this slip by like nothing happened, you know? Yeah, I'm talking about the incident that happened aboard Methy some time ago. Remember how someone smashed an alarm clock against Dante's head while they were sleeping? No one ended up figuring out what had happened there, right? You're going to have to bring me up to speed on this. Yeah, I don't know when exactly this was, but there was a loud shattering noise outside at night, and we all ran out to see what happened. But no one managed to find any credible clue, so I guess we just let it slide. Anywho, Dante said they were A-okay, so we moved on from it, but I'm telling ya, I saw what I saw. I saw Greg's bug arm. So here's my guess. What if he happened to lose his balance while carrying that alarm clock with one hand? You know what I mean? I'm trusting the anonymity thing on that. Gregor, he wouldn't. The alarm clock, broken due to shock at the time of the incident, was pointing at precisely 22:32. And at that hour, only 2 individuals were awake for the night's watch duty. Guys, this is turning into like a whole investigation. Around 2200, one of the 2 individuals who were on night watch duty was... Yeah, Miss Faust was one of them. Hey Dante, didn't you have a brief conversation with Faust that morning? Now that I think back on it, I did have a talk with Faust that day briefly. Faust made a few criticisms on my command style, and she was right, but I pretended to not hear her because I didn't have anything to retort with. Don't tell me Faust actually held a grudge against me for that. So fellas, I don't think anyone's noticed this, but I noticed her dusting a cigarette ash near the shattered alarm clock. As you know, Miniature Bud, there are only 2 among us who smoke, but only one of them stayed put in his room. Know what I mean? There's a witness, too. Unless that witness is a cowardly liar, I'm sure she will come forward and tell everyone exactly what happened that night. I shall prove unto thee that I am no cowardly weaver of lies. In truth, among numerous cosplays I'd wished to accomplish was the duo of Captain Scorps and One-Eyed Navigator. To explain the lure of Captain Scorps, the tale beginneth verily on the year 757. After a very long read. Alas, the possibility of procuring a scorpion arm proved more dubious than one could have expected. Thus did I convince young Gregor to join forces with me. To cosplay together and capture our glorious forms and photographs, though 'twas a pity he had no pipe, only a cigarette between his teeth. And young Ishmael's compass was to be the captain's trinket, and for that purpose I had briefly borrowed it from her room. Oh, woe is me, for I regrettably spilled an entire can of tuna, another prop, and the compass was swallowed by its greasy juices. Despite my best efforts to restore it, the only aroma lingereth still. I beg thy forgiveness, Manager Esquire. Well, at least we know who took Ishmael's compass. Frustrating. TC, GWNM, and MPL. Is this like a code? Sinclair, translation please. Yeah, trying to parse that from what's in written text is usually way harder. I normally try to read the speaker's tone and the general context of her words, so... Unfortunately, the plot thickens. Guys, are we actually going to try to find the culprit? Nausea bubbled inside me like I'd been reminded of a persistent itch I'd managed to forget. It's like someone shoved a tuning fork in my head. Guys, alright, that's it. Quackhead, read up. I'm going to confront the sod and tell it like it is if there's something bugging him instead of whinging in his sleep. Now where is he? Hey, Knife Thief. I mean, looks like the anonymous person is trying to get to the bottom of this. Dante, fare you well. It is I, the sinner first in the order. Apologies are in order. Ever since the incident, I could hardly lull myself to a restful sleep. In truth, it was none other than myself who pummeled your head with a clock. To explain this, one must first explore the sentence cuts off as if the paper has been torn off. Worry not about what exists no longer. I will not embark on a multiloquial ascribing of my excuses. I did write you in shame and express my willingness to accept any punishment you see fit to dole out. I seek nothing but your forgiveness. I can't believe the culprit was I mean the sinner. Good thing he fast up, but doesn't something feel off about the whole thing? What if he's just trying to take the heat? But it seems to me that the number one sinner doesn't want to share the story any further. Maybe it's best we don't dig into it unnecessarily. Hello, Dante. I was taking a walk near here when I found a piece of paper someone tore off, so I'm returning it here. Hope it finds its way to its original writer. Thus returns the number one sinner's paper. This has to be the key to resolving this case. I hurriedly unfurled the paper, the truth of what transpired. You ever find yourself wondering if that crackling fire-like thing on the top of the manager's head is not like real fire, or if they would not give any heat? Curious, right? Don't worry about it, Xichun. It's not like we have any other way to tell other than touching it ourselves. Indeed, unproven phenomena cannot be confirmed without direct means of observation. Their asleep must have been pretty tired. Indeed, the ticking noise has shrunk in volume. It seems like we've just shared a thought. What if we were to quickly just check while the manager's asleep? Perhaps the sound of phlegms. What? Sinking past my gullet makes far too much noise for this task. Yeah, well, I'm just going to find out how loud my heartbeat can get. Xichun, the alarm next to the manager, it's about to go off. You have a minute at most. I shall interface with the timepiece. Look at you rats playing a played-out prank. And that is indeed the full tale of what transpired. Under the lens of hindsight's illumination, it would almost appear that I'm making a secret accusation to a fellow of mine. It would be easier on my heart to simply assume the entire weight of culpability myself. And that's where it ends. The culprit was right under our noses the entire time. Sorry, Dante, I should have been upfront about it, but Otis was so adamant about utterly punishing the culprit that I couldn't bring myself to, you know. Can't deny that, but tell you the truth in time. To tell you another truth, I think I might have an idea as to why I've made a student alongside Miss Xichun. There must have been something that the company was expecting from me, but it's just not showing up, so they must be making me take these classes to compensate for it. Everyone else is boldly facing their own issues and slowly overcoming them, while I'm still here, feeling like I'm stagnating in place. They've been telling me that my time's yet to come, but I don't know. I just get the feeling that the ship might have sailed for me already. It's clear to me that Sinclair wasn't just talking about physical training or his combat prowess. It's about something more than... It's about something that more than half the sinners that faced and were facing at this point, about his past and the path that lied ahead. The guilt and the pressure of having failed to confront it was never going to be easy for him to let go. I don't think anyone's got the perfect idea of how the whole tragedy of their lives is going to be. That's why we're on the bus, isn't it? You know, you can just shout at me to get my act together like Heathcliff does. Oh, I will if I have to. Whatever that was, you guys managed to talk it out. All I heard was that ticking noise. Sorry about that. What Dante said was, hey, don't bother. I just need a quick glance at the look on your face to feel that tick-tock with my heart. Thus, the curious case of the alarm clock came to an end. So what do you guys think Ryoshi was trying to say? Two culprits, guy with nightly nightmares, and my translator. I see. Sinclair and I sat there for a moment, absorbing the awkward silence. And there we go, we got all of them over 800 now. Finally, the 30 days of lessons were completed and the day of the final exam was upon us. Everyone came out to bid good luck to Xichun on our way to the final exam. My lady, I have nothing but absolute faith that you will be able to complete this final exam just as excellently as you have all the others. It's most likely that you will be facing off against a skilled foe from the Shui or Shi family. Of course, he will doubtlessly wipe the floor with them. I have taught you all that I know. I hereby give you permission to leave this boot camp. You got this, Xichun. Guys, you really don't have to come all the way out here to see me off. Still, I have undying faith that you will emerge victorious, my lady. However, Zigong and I have also prepared about 21 alternative solutions. In case things go awry, so please don't worry yourself too much. Do you have faith in me or not? Upon our return to the classroom, we were greeted by an unexpected guest. Must be very nice to be Xichun to have so many teachers from all walks of life helping her out. It's been a while since we saw Shui Bao Chai, which was during the regular assembly. What are you doing here, big sis Bao Chai? I couldn't stop myself from paying you all a visit out of pity. If only Xichun and Bao Yu both smiled on like nothing happened. Our blossoming years would have been peaceful still. Big sis, please stop talking to me like that. I didn't know you could even say such a thing. Bao Yu, it has always been this way. If the fruit is fully ripened, we have to seize it and taste its juices before anyone else. We can't just let go. We can't stand emptiness. My brother couldn't. My parents couldn't. But you, who was born and raised on the very same soil we were, how do you walk so softly and lightly? I don't. My footsteps are no longer light. Every step, every sight I hold in my eyes as the days go by fills me with abundance. I'm only trying to accept everything as it is without asking for more or less. But how could you do nothing but watch while we were surrounded by such fragrance? What more do you seek, big sis? I want to be closer, that my hands may reach you. Have you already forgotten who had sent you that guest lecturer? Xichun's palanquin isn't heading to the exam site, is it? No, it's not. It's heading to Big Sis Xichun's exam site. Blasted scoundrels! I must hasten after the palanquin before I lose track of them. Wei sprinted outside even before Xue Baochai finished. A trap. Fellas, shouldn't we also get going? Calm yourselves for a moment. Xigong swiftly came in between us, clearly having taken a gauge of the situation. It's been too long since the palanquin has departed. It's better to move based on concrete evidence, not urgency. Though a beast seems to have chosen the latter. I think I heard the faint sound of hose coming from the direction Xigong was glancing in. So this is what you've chosen. Yes, the exams she's taken thus far were all meaningless lies. I could have shared this earlier, but I decided to follow my own heart, as you have decided to follow yours. Baochai smiled sweetly. So now, what fragrance do you smell from me? I smell nothing. Xue Baochai left the room wordlessly upon hearing that reply. The terrible jest Xichun plays down to the very last day. Too much time has passed already. I have given our clan, including Wei, instructions to keep their eyes on the palanquin, as I observe much strangeness from the palanquin bearers. Yet there are so many places to which one may covertly kidnap the family hierarch. Still, we have to... Your heart is still in a rush. I do not mean to imply that we will abandon our to our fate. Look, I have selected a few places on the map with the highest probabilities of being their destination. As the time is not on our side, the Heisha Pact and your team will have to mobilize separately to explore all possible options. Among them, I aim to send you toward this place. Indeed, the glorified internment camp of Hong Yuan now shut down. Pinyin Residential Support Zone. It is a policy Jia Yuan-chun and the former Jia Mu pursued. The policy was indefinitely tabled and the zone was closed off as many voices of reluctance to pass it. But I find it hard to believe that Jia Yuan-chun would admit defeat so easily. It is a secluded place, perfect for secretly bringing harm to the family hierarch. Not to mention the symbolic value it carries. I hope she's okay. Have some faith in your people. You have taught her to the best of your abilities, have you not? I trust that she will be able to fend for herself until our arrival. Yeah, we trained really hard for the entire month. The only reason Xichun would employ such under-the-table tactics is because she knows that a fair match would not be in her favor. So let us yank her hand out from under the table and make her regret it.
군주가 나서
의로움을
이제야 부르나.
흑수, 오필등, 이상이요.
잠깐. 이번엔
명을 받듭니다.
보는 눈은 있네요. 여기서 저만큼 유능한 인재는 흔치 않죠. 보는
이번 의뢰는 총은 수지 타산에 맞게 한 발에 한 놈씩.
We heard ourselves along the winding passages of Hong-Yuan. At first I thought we might be able to move faster had the Mephistopheles been here with us, but walking through the winding irregular paths reminded me why palanquins were a thing in Hong-Yuan. Already, upon our arrival at the location Xichun pointed out to us, something emerged from the dark. A figure, no, 2, 4, a small platoon of shadows. Damn it, we're surrounded. A shadows withered into physical form, lapping their purple serpentine arms at us. City branch of the Heisho Packs. They don't belong to the family Hierarch. Wait, what now? What do you mean, what now? We can't just sit here and waste any precious time. Come on, let's fight our way out of this ambush. Ain't that usually my thing to suggest? Fighting's all about morale. Looks like the classes did have some effect. Sinclair's right, we don't have any time to waste.
목을 콱 물어버리자고.
토끼를 본다. 저 해충들을 도려내라.
틈흘려하군요.
묘여. 길을 열어라. 넌 푸름을 틔울 수도 없겠구나. 하나 넘고 거꾸로 제쳐라. 일기당천 시리수에 명한다. 이 앞에 숨쉬는 자 누구 하나 살려보내지 마라.
틈흘려하군요. 이제 깨우치시게.
Wow, this is all going very well.
지 목을 떨궈주마.
끝내지.
지 목을 떨궈주마.
불가 위야. 막아내지 못하리. 이 거리는 충분해. 너한텐 조금 멀겠지만.
헤어내리. 자, 끝내지. 죽지 마라. 숨통 끊기.
그쪽 방향이 아닐 텐데.
불가 위야. 막아내지 못하리.
불쌍하게 울부짖는 가치 없군. 죽어라.
And there we go. We beat all the sea there.
오늘 부끄럽지 않았습니다. 의를 바로 세우는 데 일조하였으니 내일은 더 떳떳이 살아갈 수 있겠군요.
Okay, well, never mind that, apparently.
죽음께서
아, 이번 의뢰는 몇 발이나 들고 가야 하냐?
Oh, never. Well, yeah, wait. The one I was using up here is gone, but then there's another one down here, level 40.
이런 임무는 뱀 중에서도 내가 제일이지.
I should have put him in backup anyway, just to buff up my Lord of Hunyuan, Hunglu.
자, 어느 쪽일지 잘 생각해보라고.
숨통 끊기.
그쪽 방향이 아닐 텐데. 자, 시비수에게 이쪽일지 잘 생각해보라고. 토끼를 본다. 저 해충들을 도려내라.
틈을 끊어.
묘여. 길을 열어라.
틈을 끊어.
고작 이 정도 탕류의 허덕이나.
가치 없군.
깔끔하게 물어봐.
이제 깨우치시길.
아르카나 빛! 응차!
불가 위야. 막아내지 못해. 처음으로 숨통이 튀었던 순간을 기억하며. 참, 지금이군요.
지 목을 떨궈주마.
가치 없군. 죽어라.
만만치 않겠군! 이니 하지!
고작 이 정도 탕류의 허덕이나. 넌
이
푸른
거리면
키우지.
충분해. 너한텐 조금 멀겠지만. 어머? 놀랐어?
고작 이 정도 탕류의 허덕이나.
사랑으로! 정의 이름으로! 이륙!
헤어내리. 이제 끝내지.
And there we go. That's the second sea battle down as well.
또 한 줄 길을 남겼군. 핏물진 길일 뿐이지만 세월이 지나면 홍어는 그지.
Alright, well, that's where I'm gonna leave it off for today's video. If you made it this far, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time when we continue with more Limbus Company. So yeah, until then, bye!